Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back to my channel, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados, for another episode of Fighting Fantasy Frolics and Fun as I start a new book today, which is the sci-fi title Star Strider. Now, as I have mentioned before, back in the day, in the 80s, I did not play any of the science fiction titles in the series. The reason being, I wasn't that much into science fiction. I liked fantasy literature, but not science fiction. So, science fiction is something that came to me a little bit later on, and I think I came to appreciate it in a different way. And today, when I'm playing through all the fighting fantasy books, I do quite like how the science fiction titles are interspersed with the fantasy ones because it gives such a nice break of scenery and you get that variety that is really nice and makes all the titles more enjoyable. And of course, though there are some highlights and some lowlights, as it were, in the series, I think all the books I've played so far have something about them at least that I like. Even Space Assassin, yes, even Space Assassin. So, and of course, there's something about this. I mean, it's the cover, isn't it? It just makes me think of Space Assassin right away. Hopefully, this will be better than Space Assassin. I presume it will be. Right. So let's just get started, shall we? Boom. Right, here we are on my desk. I got my supplies, I got my character sheet, I got my map to be, I got my pens, pencil, and dice. And let's just get started. There might be some alternate abilities here. Oh, actually, this book belonged to Richard Bailey. So, Richard Bailey, if you are watching, this used to be your book. Right. Oh, Richard Bailey even colored in the contours of the starship here. And what has he got? He also had, Richard Bailey had The Citadel of Chaos, Island of the Lizard King, and this book, according to this list here in the beginning. That's, well, he only just started collecting. That is fine. Right. Okay, so the mission. Okay, so it looks like I have to start from the very beginning here. It looks like even before the rules, there is something about the background here, and let's just see what this is about. So it says the mission. Rogue Tracer, a hunter of fugitives, criminals, and wanted beings who have a price on their heads, formerly known as bounty hunters. Licensed by the Tracebeam organization, elite rogue tracers are known as Star Striders, and that is from the Encyclopedia Galactica. Special message follows. The Grommulins, not to be confused with the Romulans, I presume, have kidnapped President Jerin, I suppose. I'll just go with Jerin. Jerin of Galaxy 1 Federation. He has been taken to a quadrant in the northern hemisphere of the planet Earth. It is feared that he is being brain scanned at this very moment, and the Zand Corporation assures us that his cephaloprotector will hold out only for a further 48 gravity hours. After that time, our computer defense codes will be in Grommulan hands, and probably in the hands of our enemies, the Empire of the Purple Flag. You are the best rogue tracer in Sector 6. In the galactic top money-making table, you rank 97. You have been chosen very carefully, and your mission, should you decide to accept it, standard contract MI special rates, is as follows. You will make your way to Earth under the pretext of your rogue tracer activities. Locate the President and get him out. Space Fleet 7 will be waiting in Earth orbit for your signal. Please note that successful completion of your mission will make you very rich, but if you do not accept the assignment, Tracebeam assure us that they cannot guarantee the future flow of criminal records to your terminal for tracing. Please indicate your acceptance of the mission. Yes or no. Thank you. Further details now follow. So I presume that means this is coming up on a kind of computer screen. The Grommulins are a humanoid, hyper-intelligent people of unknown origin who have previously only dabbled in world-scale terrorism. They are experts in the construction of androids and are masters of illusion. They are the originators of Illusiovision 70 for Galaxy Ents Corporation, but were robbed of all copyright in the last century. Their latest invention is the Illusoscope, a portable illusion generator. The Grommulins will be expecting a rescue attempt, so beware. To assist you, we are activating our planted spy androids in that sector. Look out for these and the code match signal, but be extremely careful. The Groms are experts in turning dedicated androids. The Grommulins have been using Earth as a base for the last century. It is a small, insignificant planet on the edge of the galaxy, once heavily populated, but now in decline. Most of its native inhabitants have emigrated to Alpha Cent. Its only source of credits is the servicing of freight cruisers and the mining of salt. Unfortunately, the Phozon crystal does not function in that solar system, and we cannot pinpoint locations with sensormatics. You will have to signal the rescue fleet once you have found the president. The remoteness of the Earth and the lack of sensor detection has meant that fugitives have flocked to the planet. You will find many targets on Earth, so you may be kept busy in your normal profession. This makes the rescue more difficult, but also strengthens your cover. Right. Likely enemies. Grommulins. Grommulins are very intelligent humanoids who would rather surrender than risk a fight in the physical sense. They specialize in deception and can talk the three hind legs of a Wookiee. Yeah. I think there's... They're mixing up the Star Wars and Star Trek references now. They were nomadic, but have settled on Earth for the last 100 gravity years, where they have developed their androids and patent illusoscope. Some reports talk of an addiction to chess and small Earth snails. Grommulan androids. These can vary tremendously in design and type. They are the main power base of the Groms, and the XL class are very dangerous. You are skilled in techniques of fighting androids and will have a good chance against guards, Grompols, admins, sweepatrons, etc., but try to steer clear of XLs. If you do get close to one, probe for deactivation points. The Groms fear their creations turning on them, and all models have built-in weak spots. As with all standard types, a badly damaged android will self-destruct. Fugitives and criminals. You may meet anyone from a tax-dodging Ferian to a pirate prince. Many will leave you alone, but if they suspect you of being a rogue tracer, they may run or attack. Remember, you operate within the galactic law and are bound not to kill human beings. If you do, you will be a fugitive and be hunted down. If you do trace fugitives, cache and mark them for future collection. Hooligans. These are local feuding groups of native Earth origin, believed to number 80 to 90 tribes. They base their fanaticism on some long-forgotten religion, which revolves around colors of clothing, generally scarves. So, hooligans. Okay, that's quite tongue-in-cheek and actually quite funny. Yeah, so these are actually the religions of Earth grew out of football fandom, hooliganism. Yeah. Their individual combat potential is... No, each tribe has its own style and color. Their individual combat potential is 0, but they can be irritating in large numbers. You might be able to use them to your advantage. Most important among the tribes are Ral, Juve, Stian, Ulpool, and Gunners. Okay, so that's the football teams there. So Real Madrid, Juventus, I'm not sure about that one. Liverpool and Gunners, so Arsenal, I suppose. Do not on any occasion wear a coloured scarf. Hooligans will only take offence. Okay. That's a bit silly though, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Illusory monsters and demons. Groms have a liking for this sort of thing. Always remember that the illusoscope will not be very far away. You will be frightened. Grommulan illusions have been known to make a Brontian take fright. Note that they can also be on a very large scale. Weapons. Rogue traders do not carry many personal arms. The basic weapons is the Catchman, designed by Ulidor Zoni. It shoots out fine liquid plastic, which takes the form of netting, wraps itself around the prey, and thus totally incapacitates him, her, or it. Unfortunately, it has a high failure rate, 33%. Rogue tracers are skilled in the use of all weapons, blasters, stun guns, even the old-fashioned neutron sword. But yeah, like the one on the cover there, a neutron sword. But in the last resort, they rely on their quick thinking, fast reflexes, and superb fitness. Abilities. The mission you are about to undertake will involve your traveling on a strange planet and facing unknown dangers. You must therefore determine your strengths and weaknesses. Right, so now let's go to the ability scores, which of course I will follow to start with, and then at some point during a gameplay, usually I end up just ignoring them for the sake of having fun. But to start with, I will have a skill of 2, that's not enough. 2, that's not enough. 5, okay, 11. Stamina. Well, the thing is, having low ability scores makes it less fun for me because I do not enjoy the combat so much. I enjoy the puzzle of finding my way through the book, as you know, and so having low ability scores means you're more likely to die if you follow the rules, and less likely to have fun if you're not so keen on the ability score concept to start with. Stamina is 22. And luck, let's see, nah. Yeah, okay, 10 in luck. Let's see. Luck, and that is standard. Fear. There's also a fear score, and of course this has to do with the illusions. That's one of the ways you resist illusion, I suppose. And that is 1 die plus 6. No, I'm not going to do a 1, 5 yet. I'm going to do 11 for my fear score. That is quite a good set of scores, I think, because it's nice not to have maximum scores as well, so that some bad things can happen. But at least your chances should be reasonably good if you follow the correct path. Right. Okay, so fear, what is that? Yeah, since the Grommulins rely so heavily on illusions calculated to scare, you must at times test your fear factor. A bad state of mind can affect your stamina and skill, and you may be asked to reduce these if you fail the test. Determine if you are frightened in the same way as you determine luck. The fear score stays the same throughout the mission. Okay. Time. Time is crucial in this mission. You must complete your task before time runs out. You begin with 48 time units, so we go to time. 48. So 48 hours, I suppose, is what I have. Okay, so that is a new dynamic that is a bit interesting. Of course, Seas of Blood also uses a system for counting time, but you're counting up because you have, 100 days, and now it's counting down to because you have 48 hours. So that's quite an interesting thing that I think perhaps should be used more often in game books. Especially if you have a game book where, if you can imagine that you have alternate paths that will lead to the same outcome. And also it may change how you choose if you feel you can't faff about and you want to focus on your task. And you know that if it will change your choices if you know that you can't waste time, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting. Note the reductions carefully. Do not waste time, but spend time gathering clues that will save time later on. Yeah, if only it were that simple. Excuse me. If your time score ever reaches 0, you have failed. The Grommulins have extracted the defense codes from the President's brain. Okay. Combat. You are armed with a Catchman, which you can use to avoid combat, but you will have to fight your way out of certain situations. If you have to fight, it will usually be hand-to-hand against one opponent. However, there will be occasions when you have to fight with weapons. Okay, so let's see. Skill and stamina, 2 dice, attack score. Okay, so that is 2 points stamina. That is standard combat. Oh, yes. There is a different one here. If you throw double 6 at any time while fighting an android, then you have found the weak spot and deactivated it. And it says if you throw a double 6 at any time while fighting, and that means, if I'm reading that correctly, it means that any combat roll, yours or theirs, counts. As long as there is a double 6 having been thrown, that means that it has been deactivated. Okay. Feats and tasks. Okay, in certain special cases, you will be asked to use your stamina and skill scores for other purposes, such as aerial combat, shooting at craft, etc. In these cases, you must enter details in the special encounter boxes, but you must not reduce your real stamina score. Okay, so that's like you have a sort of a game mechanic that looks like combat, but technically it isn't. It's just resolved in the same fashion. Throughout the mission, you will be asked to determine distances to jump, leap, swim, etc. by the roll of the dice. Determine your ability to achieve these feats by adding the roll of a die to your current stamina score, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's a little bit more game mechanics than you're used to. That is quite clear, though, and that will be really apparent, I guess, in the book itself when you get to it. And then it says, good luck, message ends. And then you have your very future retro futuristic character sheet there. Oh, oxygen is a thing as well. Interesting. So we've got time clues, calculations, oxygen. Okay, some interesting thing going on this character sheet that I'll get to eventually. Just let me have a little sip of water. Okay. You have docked into Earth Shuttle Station 23. All lines to ear. Sector 3. A bright neon light announces. You park. Yeah, all lines to Earth. That should be okay. A bright neon light announces. Yeah, okay, let's just make sure I'm focused. Yes, I am. You park your Oberon craft in the short-term airlock and walk down to a dirty-looking ticket office. There's no one around. You bang on the small plexiglass window and eventually a Megacorp android appears and stutters at you. It should have been out of commission years ago. It has difficulty in understanding your request for a ticket on the next shuttle, but eventually takes your credit card and utters what you will soon recognize as a traditional Earth saying, "That'll do nicely." As you trudge away down the corridor, you hear the Megacorp squeaking at you to have a nice day. There are about 20 seats in the shuttle, of which only 5 are occupied. You are directed to your seat and given a copy of the safety procedures by a service android, and you sit down on something sticky. The android asks you what you will have. Will you? Reply, nothing, a cocktail, or food cubes. Right, so this is quite an interesting thing, and this is also something that's a bit fascinating about 1980s science fiction, is the idea that the modernization in the future means that you go up to a counter and you ask an android for your ticket rather than going on a ticket machine and just punching in where you're going and then getting your ticket out. It's kind of cute, isn't it? It's kind of cute. Right, so here we are. We are at number 1. Starting point, yeah, starting at the bottom again. And then we have 3 different options, which is nothing, cocktail, or food cubes. So food, drink, or nothing. I don't know. Food cubes makes sense, doesn't it? I'm going to ask for food cubes. So 203. A good idea. You will need all your energy when you are on the planet. Add 1 stamina point. And that, I suppose, would have to be in addition to the max because you haven't lost any now. So I'll just presume that it can go higher and I'll go 23. Okay. Because otherwise that would make no sense. Plus 1 stamina. Turn to 39. Okay, so 39. 3, 9. Oh, it's a bit smudgy. Okay. Have to be a bit careful with the smudginess, because what can happen if you get smudgy ballpoint pen is, of course, that you can get smudges in your book as well if you're not being careful. Okay, the shuttle lands in the dark segment of the planet in what appears to be a desolate area of Sector 3. There are no habitation lights, and you assume that this base station was built in the days when shuttles needed huge landing areas. All the passengers troop out into the station. You look up and see the familiar rocket to hire sign and go over to a shoddy counter. There is no android on duty. You stand there reading Zipcar brochures while all the other passengers file towards the Silverhound, which is waiting outside. So that's like the Greyhound, I guess. Smoke belching from its rocket outlets. Its destination is Madrid. In the far corner, a sweepertron takes a break from its work and looks at you. Do you wait around for a Zipcar? So I suppose that's, yeah, okay. Talk to the android or join the others in the Silverhound. Okay, so now I don't really know where I'm going, do I? Were there any clues in the beginning about the whereabouts of the president? I just don't know, do I, where he is being kept? So taken to a quadrant in the northern hemisphere of the planet Earth. So that's sector 3. Yeah, okay. So that's all I know. So I have no idea where to start really, or where to go. Right, but 3 options. I'm just going to put the 3 options up here. 1, 2, and 3, like so. So it's 145, a Zipcar, 357, Talk, or 373, Silverhound. So I'm going to talk to the android, see if he has any information for me, and yeah, I'm going to go to 357. You walk towards the android. It drops its vacuum attachment and goes out of a side door. You follow, turn a corner, and find it waiting for you. Okay. It presses the code match signal and you respond. It is one of the planted androids. It gives you as much information as it has gleaned. It tells you that the Groms are based in 4 cities and that the Silverhound bus is the only mode of public travel to these cities. The rocket hire company has withdrawn its services due to lack of demand, and private Zipcars are few and far between. All high-level Groms are linked into the bases through their com terms. If you can get access to one of these terminals, you could probably get a lot of important information. When its message has ended, it begins to self-destruct. Turn to 72. Okay, so that was useful information, and that therefore sounds like it may be the right thing to do. So let's just circle that. And clues and stuff, I'm usually not going to put that on my character sheet. I'm going to sort of put it on my map. So what I have here is 4 cities, Silverhound, and com terms is let's see, com terms. So let's see, I'm gonna call it clues or hints. Really, I'll call them hints because I do want to distinguish those 2 things. So and that is those over there. Okay. So I need to get access to a com term. That should, of course, then be one of my aims in trying to figure out what to do about this. So I'm going to turn to 72 now. Next one. You board the bus. All the passengers are from the shuttle. You sit down and strap up. The Silverhound lurches and then speeds off. From their conversation, you detect that most of the passengers are sales reps. The main topic is the price of salt mining equipment. One passenger, obviously a Grom, sits ahead in the small first-class section. He is being attended by his own android. You begin to doze off, while the vid screen in front of you shows endless adverts from Galactic Ents Inc. Deduct 2 time units. So, okay, so I'm going to do the time. So we have time -2. I'm just going to go to 46 there on my time track. Suddenly you wake up with a start. You look out of the window to see lights flashing. The bus slows down and lands in a swirl of dust. Two Grumpel androids get in and announce that they want to check IDs. When they see your Rogue Tracer's license, they grab you and throw you outside. Do you run for it or go along with them? Okay. So, yeah. Okay. But I'm licensed. Why are they treating me like that? Okay, so two options. $3.85 run or 119 go along. No, I think I'll just try to run, actually. I mean, they're throwing me out of the bus. Obviously, they're up to no good. I might... I mean, normally they wouldn't probably feel that they needed to interfere with my work, would they? You would think. Yeah, I'm just gonna run for it. Resisting arrest. That's not very good, is it? Maybe I should just follow them, because I don't think they don't have anything on me, do they? No, I'm gonna follow along with them, because I need to. This is part of my cover story now, isn't it? I need to. You are pushed into the Grumpel craft and made to stand in front of the Grom commander, who is sitting down. He watches you very carefully, then asks who you are tracing. Okay, this is where I can get into trouble, because I don't have a proper cover story, do I? I should have had a cover story. Now, this actually is a little flaw in the plan, isn't it? If you are going somewhere on a secret mission, you need a fake mission, especially in this situation. You need a fake mission that you can... oh, well. Then again, do they actually keep track of everyone? So if I give them a fake name, will they know who it is? Or will they know that that's someone who isn't there? 3, 1, 2, or 54. So refuse or name. Okay, I'm just going to give him a name, see what happens, because, well, I'm curious to find out. Oh dear, not the right choice. You give him a likely felon's name. The Grom is immediately suspicious. Rogue Tracers never reveal targets, even under pain of brain scan. He lets the bus go. He stares at you and you stare back, noticing how slight he is and how useless he would be in a fight. Just then he disappears and the inside of the craft becomes a square white box. So this is an illusion now. The walls, roof, and ceiling begin to close in on you. Spikes appear all over the surfaces and begin to ooze blood. Test your fear factor. 11. Actually, I failed that one. Okay, so I think then we can conclude probably that giving the name is the wrong choice. So I'm going to make a little red mark on that, not too strong just in case. So we have test fear. And then we got two options there. Okay. Oh no, we don't have two options. We just have one option actually, because if you're frightened, deduct 2 stamina points. Okay, so I'm down to 21 stamina. And then everything blackouts turn to 182, it says. Okay, so 182. When you regain consciousness, you are facing the Grom. The craft is speeding along. The Grom smiles and expresses his apologies. He has checked your idea with base station and it matches information about known rogue tracers. He asks you if you play chess, and you agree to a game. Immediately, a beautiful set appears suspended in mid-air. He tells you that they will be making a stop first, but will get you back to the bus as soon as possible. You find him to be very intelligent and galaxy-wise. he wins the game easily. The craft settles in a Grompole station. You stay in the craft and watch the Grom, who's talking to two guards outside and pointing towards you. In front of you is a standard IPX computer. Do you trust the Grom? Sit back and relax. Take the opportunity of getting information from the computer, or steal the Grompole craft and fly away. Okay, that's quite a varied set of options there, with quite different consequences potentially, which is quite interesting. Right. So what do I do? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 options. Let's see. Let's move that a little bit. Good. 1, 2, 3. Make sure I am in focus. The thing is, every time I restart my camera, it often goes off focus, and it's not every time I notice. So yeah, I do apologize for that, by the way. So I'm trying to keep things nice and sharp for you, so you can read the page if you want. So we got 3 options. So it's trust, 1 to 6, 1 to 6 computer, or 163 steel craft. I'm going to check out the computer, I think, and I go to 126. You sit at the computer. Groms are using the plain L language system, so you call up the file directory. You ask for a visual display. A message appears asking for a passcode and allowing you 5 gravity seconds to key in. Then the screen begins to flash. Unauthorized user, beware, hacker. A low whine accompanies the flashing. Through the window, you can see the Grom coming back with the androids. As a last resort, you aim a kick at the guts of the IPX. The screen goes blank and another backup screen lights up. The telltale message disappears. Turn to 91. Okay, that doesn't seem like a good idea then. Okay. 91. Okay. You settle back in your seat. The door slides open and the Grom comes in with 2 Grompoles. He throws you a food cube and asks if you want to wash. When you have freshened up, you speed off to catch the Silverhound at 2 stamina points. Deduct 2 time units and turn to 381. So we have so plus 2 stamina and minus 2 time. And then we go to 3, 8, 1. Okay, so stamina is 23 again. Time is 40. Let's just do 44 down there. And then we go to 381. So we've got quite a different atmosphere and feel to it than most of the books now, which is quite nice. The Grompole craft accelerates and soon flags down at the bus. The Grompole android tells you to have a nice day. Yeah, well, of course. You get on board. The other passengers try to ignore you. Turn to 22. 22. The Silverhound lurches off, and you have to listen to the rep's dirty stories about the pleasure planet of Luxurus. Eventually, you reach Madrid, and everybody gets off. Turn to 179. I'm just going to do this linearly on my map too, leaving lots of space on the side here for other things that may or may not happen. I do not know how linear this is yet, or non-linear, as it were. You make your way towards the Silverhound terminal. A few natives wander around, carrying heavy cases. In the craft park, there are 2 buses, one marked Roma, and the other being repaired by a team of mechanoids. See a sign marked Services and head towards it. Turn to 235. Okay, so I know there's a bus to Rome. 235. So 4 cities. Are they Rome, Madrid, and some other ones? We'll find out. And London and Paris. Actually, I was thinking London and Paris. Yeah. You find that there is only one route that links the northern sector. Most services have been cancelled due to lack of demand, and there are considerable delays between stops. So basically, I have to, in order to get to these 4 cities, I then have to go from Madrid to Roma to Paris and then to London. In that order, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those presumably are the 4 cities that I need to go to. Okay. Maybe I should make a note of these times here. Maybe I should make a note of the times. Okay, so we have here hint maybe. So we've got London LND, so that's 0600 and 1200. And we got Paris 0650, 1250. Rome 0810, 1410. And then we have Madrid 0930, 1530. And then we have the other direction, Madrid 1030, 1630. Rome, Paris, and London 1150, 1750. Paris 1310, 1910, and London 230 and 830. Okay, so that's the Silverhound timetable. Okay. Might be useful. I don't know yet. It may or may not. If it is, then I've got it. And this is paragraph 235. Okay. You find that there is only one route that links the northern sector. Most services have been cancelled due to lack of demand, and there are considerable delays between stops. While you are working out the times, an android stands next to you, and you feel the code match pulse on your chronograph. Deduct 2 time units. Okay, so that is time minus 2 again, so we're down to 42. Okay. Do you signal back or decide to follow it first? I don't know. The previous one, I was following it before it signaled. 350, 152. Follow. Signal. I'm not sure what the procedure is supposed to be. Am I supposed to do the response right away and then follow it? That probably makes sense, doesn't it? Because if I don't signal back, then he might think something is wrong, and if I try to follow it, then I'm gonna signal it back and see if that's, for future reference at least, if that is the correct thing to do. Ah, yes. You look at the android and press your code match button. It walks away from you and sits on a bench. You follow and sit next to it, but it does not speak to you, and you get suspicious. When you get up, 2 XLs grab you, and you know that the planted android has been turned. You are dragged away. Your mission has failed. It does not surprise me, really. So the end. Okay, so do not do that. Okay, so that's a nice little start, I think. I might make this a short video, by the way, and then I will try again next time and see what happens. I will start from the beginning next time. For simplicity's sake, I think I'll just keep my character because it is easier. And yeah. Okay, so I'm making a short episode now, and just to make things tidy, if I sort of start going back and forward and stuff, it gets a little bit messier as well and a little bit more unclear. So clearly there are ways to lose quite early on, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to do my sort of like this. little transition. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first journey into Star Strider. It seems interesting so far. I'm liking this. I'm wondering what's going to happen next. I'm finding my feet a little bit, trying to find out what to do and what not to do. And I'll be curious to see what happens next time. And I hope you will too. And I'll see you there. So thanks for watching and goodbye for now.